That's it.
We're in agreement.
Hey, Tony, on
I
the,
think last.
I really want to follow up on this idea of constitutionality, because, you know, that's a big part of the 912 project and Glenn Beck and all that. What, do you see any kind of intellectual change or maybe a change of heart at the national level to focus on things like, in the National Republican Party, to focus on things like 10th Amendment rights? And I don't know, what was that issue? I think Mike Pence was working on something where anytime you spend money, you'd have to prove that it was constitutionally mandated. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you see going on there?
We need to send that.
You have every politician that I've known thinks that they can't do any good for anybody unless they get reelected. It's very self-serving, obviously, but that's the way they feel. You have to have a big ego to do what they do. They get paid off pretty good. I mean, as far as the power and being treated like kings.
Well, if you read the Constitution, it tells you they are not supposed to do that.
I do a single.
I think it's
Bottom line
really
is, no, if you want to do something constructive, I agree with you. The world's not perfect. The Constitution of the United States of America has been trampled, but it only works, it's like your document, I believe. It only works if you have good law-abiding citizens. The Soviet Union's Constitution is very similar to ours without the Bill of Rights. It's a piece of paper that we have to keep vigilant. My good friend Bill Bunting, who was a chairman of Pasco County, who's now also running the Rubio campaign in that area, is very big on the Second Amendment. That's his key issue. I mean, he runs the gun shows, and just for information, McCollum does the gun shows, he gets supported. Marco Rubio does the gun shows. Charlie Crist doesn't get in the gun shows because he betrayed. Charlie says he's a Second Amendment guy. See, here's the thing. Politicians say anything to get elected. You guys don't do as they do. Look at their record.
Yes.
With Marco, they're going to trash him every way they can because it's some obscure bills and everything. Bottom line is, once he gets in there, he has 4 reasons why he wants to do a good job. He has 4 children. Now, he cares about this country. A lot of these guys, some of them do, some of them don't. We have to hold them accountable. We're here in Pinellas County, Florida.
They work for us.
That's the theory, and they do. But the bottom line is, we have to get right ones elected, and you have to do that. You're not going to get a perfect world. It's just not going to happen. The 10th Amendment gets trampled every day. You know why it happens? Because of communications. What's the first article of the Constitution? There's 6 articles. You know what the first one is? Anybody know? After the preamble.
Defines the roles of the House and Congress.
Right, Congress. Thank you. Why?
Why they picked it in that order, I don't know.
Yeah. Because it was the most important, powerful branch of government. Because back when the Constitution was conceived, there was no mass communication. You know what a Senate term is? 6 years. I'm not trying to pick at people. I'm a history nut. Love the History Channel. But anyway, because the Senate's main thing was to ratify treaties, and if I'm going to ratify a treaty with France, I got to get on my horse from Virginia or somewhere, get to D.C., get on a ship from Norfolk, go all the way to Europe, talk to some guy and negotiate, go all the way back to the States and negotiate. It took a long time to learn it, and you wanted stability in the Senate. That's why it's 6 years. The House was the people's house. You're a farmer, you're a businessman, whatever. You go a couple of years, you do your bit, and you get out. Now, what happened was, now the most powerful part of government is the executive branch, because you have command and control. You got instant communications, presidential executive orders. It's changed. It was conceived as the Congress, all spending bills will be in the Congress. The State of the Union, novel idea. You know when the first president ever did a State of the Union? Dwight David Eisenhower. Why? TV started, folks. It's an infomercial for the presidency. So, I mean, everything evolves. The Constitution is a document. It's not a living document. It's there. And we have to, we're the guardians of it. We're the ones, we are the boss when you really look at it. But if you pick it apart, you know what scares the hell out of me? The Supreme Court of the United States has 9 members. It's pretty balanced right now. We lost a liberal, and Obama put a liberal in. That really didn't hurt us. God forbid Scalia gets a heart attack, or someone like that, or Roberts. Then what? Obama says, you know something, I'm going to have another liberal Supreme Court guy. And we don't have the darn senators that maybe we do now. But we don't have the senators to stop this guy. That's what's scary. So, I mean, you can argue generalities, you can argue what's good and what's bad, but politics is the art of the possible. And with the votes and money, anything's possible. And you have to get the right people in. And sometimes it's excruciating, and they disappoint you. Charlie Crist is a tremendous disappointment to me personally. He's only got 20 years. Bill Bunting knows Charlie Crist for probably 15 years. And we say the country's more important than him, and we're going against him. If you don't think we got some grief about that, okay. But what's he going to do to me? My hair's not going to fall out anymore.
Well, we're back with another winner, so
That's I am.
he's the
Yes.
anti-Obama. Bringing it back to all politics is local. We were talking the other day, we don't even really know where the Secretary of State comes from. Is that an appointed position?
It is now. It used to be elected when they consolidated the cabinet. The cabinet used to have a Secretary of State, Insurance Commissioner, and they consolidated to 4 members. And these brain surgeons, God bless the government, they couldn't figure out that they needed X amount of votes to pass something. Oh, you only got 4 guys that have changed the rules again, but the Secretary of State is appointed by the government.
Appointed by the government.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was quoted as saying that the 2 evil empires is the Soviet Union and the U.S. federal government. I don't expect to see anything come out of Washington good. I think the greatest governmental body in the founding of the country was the state governments. It used to be that the Senate actually were senators that were sent there by their state governments, and that's why the states ratified the treaties, not the people. People were in the House. It's just my own opinion that if we're putting our efforts into something, I think it has to be to get actually elected officials in Tallahassee who understand that they are the ones who determine the destiny of the state, not the federal government.
Well, they changed that in 1912, where senators used to come from the state.
17th Amendment?
But the federal government decided, hey, you know, if they're too allegiant to the state, we want to give them allegiant to us, so they changed it.
No, that needs to be changed back.
1912, the progressives, is that on Teddy Roosevelt time?
Yeah.
Now, remember, and you guys all listen to Bex, I think you can go about it, you know all about it.
I was going to say, I was glad to read on Fox's website today that Attorney General McCollum was threatening to sue the federal government if they passed the health care forcing American citizens to buy their health care, pay a fine, or go to jail.
Correct.
And I think that's the kind of thing we need from the states. We've got 19 other states. And the way I've read the Constitution, the states have the authority to amend it just by calling a convention of the states. And also, they could actually be together and dissolve the country if they wanted to, because that's really where the power is.
We did that once already. South Carolina, my alma mater, started it off.
I know, but I'm just saying that's the kind of authority the states have, and I think when you find people in Tallahassee and other state governments that actually understand, you know, what the Constitution's saying, because no, I don't think anything's going to come out of Washington.
No,
that's why the government, the founding fathers were so worried about a strong centralized government.
You can have all the intellectual conversations, which is great in academia. No, you really can. It's very enlightening, and the ideas are good. But from a practical matter, we're going to have to get good people in there that are going to govern with morality. That's where it comes to.
Yes.
We're going to have to get good, moral people in there and make a decision, and again, hold them accountable.